The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to calculate the average for each of the color candies. First thing you want to do is label the data. And to calculate the average, I'm going to actually take the sum of each of the color candies. I'm going to divide it by the number of data, the total number of data I have. For this instance, I have 5 students. So I'm going to hit equal to let them know it's an equation coming up. Select 18. Actually divide it by 5, because that's the total number of students I had. And hit enter. The average is 3.6. Now I can go along and I can do this for each one, the green, the brown, so forth, all the way down to the blue. Or I can actually highlight every cell that I would like for this equation to be in. I can go to edit. I can go down to fill. And I actually want this equation to be filled to the right. And as you can see, for every cell that I highlighted, the equation was put in according to the color. The next thing I like to do is calculate the standard deviation, and I'm going to abbreviate this as STDEV. You can actually go and look up the standard deviation formula and put it in for each cell, or you can actually put in the abbreviation, and Excel will recognize that as calculating the standard deviation for a particular set of data points. So once again, I'm going to hit equal to let them know it is a formula, and I'm going to type in STDEV, open parentheses, and then I'm going to highlight the data that I want the standard deviation for, and that's for all of my red entries. Close the parentheses, hit enter, and that is actually the standard deviation for the red. Once again, I like to actually have that formula for each one of my colors. So I'm going to highlight across. I'm going to go to edit, fill, and I'm going to fill to the right. Now I don't have to go in and put each formula in for each color. Now that I have all my data and all the calculations, I can actually go and create a graph of my data. To create a graph in Excel is really easy. You go to the toolbar at the top and you click on Chart Wizard. And as you can see, you can select many types of graph. You can do a column graph, bar graph, line graph, etc. For this particular assignment, we're going to do a pie graph. And I'm going to hit Next. The first thing you want to do is you want to select your data range. I'm actually going to hit and select including. Make sure you include your labels. I'm going to select the data that I would like to be graphed, and I'm going to hit enter. And if you notice, my pie chart is already created. I'm going to hit next, and then the next thing you want to do is you want to label your pie chart, give it a title, and I'm going to title this M&M. Once you're satisfied with your title, you hit next. And then you have two choices. You can actually have your graph as a separate page, or you can actually have your graph within your data. I'm going to have it as an object within my data, so I'm going to hit finish. And as you can see, my actual graph showed up with my data. Now you want to actually go and label your graph, and you actually want to add some information to your graph. The first thing we want to add to the graph is the percentage. So you actually want to select the pie chart. You want to right click. You want to go to Format Data Series. And at the top you want to make sure that you're on Data Labels. And we want to click Percentages. And hit OK. Now if you notice, the percentages are not actually correct. The percentages are down here, but if you notice here, it's actually highlighting student 1's data. So you actually want to slide that bar down to your percentage area. Now you have the correct percentages. So you must be careful and look at your data and make sure that it represents your actual chart, the data that you put into the chart. The next thing you notice that if you look at the 19% area, it's pink, but on your legend it says that it's blue. So you actually want to go and change that color. You actually want to select the area that's pink, and the way you know it is selected is because the points will be highlighted around the actual selection area. You want to right click, hit Format Data Point, and this time you want to go to Patterns. And on the legend is blue, so I'm going to click blue. I'll do the next one again. Select, make sure that the data points are only around that particular pie, and that should be red. So I'm going to select red. And my purple should be green. And I'm going to go all around my chart like that until I'm satisfied with the color selection. And the last one should be orange. Now you know how to enter data into Excel, calculate data into Excel, and create graph into Excel.